Don't rent a car until you see this. 10 insider warnings that could save hundreds. A woman walked into the Hertz return lane of Atlanta Airport. Hand over the keys. And the car looked good. She looks fine. Everything is fine. It wasn't until about 4 minutes later that her phone buzzed. 440,000 yuan. She was stolen before she reached the gate. The problem, the so-called damages, are 250 yuan. Processing, $125. Another 65 were labeled executive. All this is caused by an inch of tire wear. If we use flashlights to crawl around the steering wheel, neither you nor I would notice the markings. Here is how to stop anyone watching the video from scrolling. The dress was never found. The AI scanner captured it. Robots. The New York Times compared it to the camera channel of a car X-ray machine. By the end of this year, Hertz will launch these products at more than 100 airports in the United States. And now, today, when you look at this, the system is not interested in hearing your story. Let me get this straight. The American car rental industry is a $62 billion machine. Over the past 40 years, it has quietly perfected the art of separating you from money in ways most travelers never realized. Hidden fees, fuel collector, insurance marketed by everyone who earns a commission. Yes, damage claims that appear in your inbox 6 weeks later. In some cases, after the rental company reported a fake car they had returned, the client ended up in a real cell. Before you click confirm reservation on your next trip, I need you to sit with me for the next 20 minutes. Let me show you 10 insider warnings. 10 things the rental counter would never volunteer to do. At the end of the video, the Book Now button would look very different. Okay. Warning. 1. Airport premiums you secretly pay. When you rent a car at the airport, the price you see on Expedia or Kayak is almost never the price you actually pay. And names. This is the so-called airport concession reinstatement fee. It works exactly as it sounds. The leasing company paid the airport authority a lot of money to get into the terminal. Fees are charged directly to your invoice. Physical customer segmentation shows that single-line projects raise interest rates by 11% on the basis of benchmark interest rates. Before taxes, before anything else. In addition, you charge customers a convenience fee, which airports finance car rental buildings and energy kickbacks. It is a polite way to charge you for electricity. None of this appears in the headline price. Here is what the Tax Foundation found in its 2025 study. $250 for 5 days. State and local combined tax rates range from 2% to 22%, depending on your state. 22%. In some states, taxes alone are heavier than an entire weekend of Uber travel. Vox ran a real-world example in which the benchmark interest rate for an 8-day rent was $5,505. The final bill was more than $400 higher. No damage. No upgrades. Only taxes and fees quietly compound behind the scenes. The solution is simple. Whenever possible, airport renters, shuttle bus, buyer, $5 Uber, take the city bus. Pick up your car from somewhere in the city center or suburbs. On the same car made by the same company, you can usually save 15 to 30%. The only change is whether you are paying airport taxes. Warning. 2. Fuel collectors. The leasing company's fuel bills were so abused that the FTC had to step in directly. As early as November 2007, the Federal Trade Commission has ruled that the company has been telling customers that a full tank means no fuel charge for returning a car, resolving a case against budget leasing, then turn around and charge them. That is not my guess. The FTC said in its news release that you can pull it up now. Shockingly, the case has been going on for nearly 2 decades. The same complaints continue to surface. Reddit threads this year and last year. The previous year, customers filled their tanks 2 miles from the airport. Keep receipts. Weeks later, it was hit by fuel service fees. The bigger trap is that the rental counter is doing everything it can. Prepaid fuel options. That sounds reasonable. Don't worry about stopping to refuel. Just bring it back empty. We will charge you an advance fee for a single can at a discounted price. Sounds like a bargain. Listen, that is why it works for so many people. No one refunded rent for smog. Just give me 25 cents, 1/8 of the tank, 3 gallons of unused fuel. All of this comes at a price. You tip the rental company free. The tip is gasoline you've never burned. Customers who skip prepayments and renewals will charge $9 or more a gallon, ABC News reported. On large SUV and vans, a single reported fuel bill exceeded $300. Math is cruel but simple. Fill the tank yourself. Keep receipts. Take pictures of the pumps, showing location and time. This single habit saves most travelers $400 or $200 per trip. Warning 3. The counter is not a service desk. This is the sales hall. When you walk to the rental counter, you need to know what is going on. The man standing there was not a neutral employee. His job is to give you a key. Many of them are contract workers. Their compensation, performance reviews, even job security is directly related to how many additional products they sell you in the 90 seconds between hello and this is your key. A leaked internal training document circulated on Reddit, written by travel journalists. It shows the so-called upward selling waterfall. The script is mechanical. Brokers look at your reservations. If you order the cheapest car, they train you to walk, step by step, an extra $9 a day. You may be here. Another $12. You may be one of them. The whole thing is psychological. And before you figure out what $9 a day means for a 2-week trip, you get a yes. That is $126. By the way, the increase far outpaced the car itself. They'll give you an accident report, supplementary liability, personal accident insurance, personal property insurance, GPS by 2026. Your phone already has GPS. They will increase satellite broadcasts. A toddler car seat is $15 a day. A Walmart seat is $35. And any other additional terms that increase the agent's commission. A travel writer for Smart Travel described this as bluntly as anyone else. Described the reaction in his words. Almost spread fear, occasionally lying outright. This is not a YouTube farce. The quote from a veteran travel journalist chronicles what he has witnessed for years. This is the script. Get up, politely and firmly reject everything. Every word, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. If the broker strikes back, the magic sentence is, my credit card payment. That ended the conversation 90% of the time. The next warning will tell you why. For most viewers, yes. Warning 4. You may already have insurance. You may pay your car insurance every month, but you don't know. Let me clarify the terminology. Because the rental company deliberately soiled it. The CDW stands for a collision damage exemption. LDW stands for loss and damage waiver. It is not real insurance, either. The difference is more important than the teller tells you. Rick Stevens, a travel writer, has emphasized this for years. A waiver is an agreement by the leasing company not to pursue damage or theft in the contract, but it does not include responsibility, not including harm to others. Damage to other vehicles is not included. The product sounds much narrower than when brokers sell it for $30 a day. If you have a major credit card, especially after Sapphire First, Sapphire Protection Co. Ltd., or you have registered for American Express Premium Auto Protection, basic rental insurance may already be in your wallet. The story begins. Before personal auto insurance, this means that if anything happens, your car premiums won't soar. Chase posted details on its website. Pay the rent in full with a Sapphire card. Reject the leasing company's CDW. The card covers theft, damage, and royalties and management fees. Reasonable towing, up to the actual cash value of most vehicles. American Express Advanced Auto Protection as an option to join the program. Generally, the entire lease is about $20. Not a day. It also provides major coverage. It should be noted that neither includes responsibility. So if you're worried about getting sued. Third-party suppliers, like Bonza, starting around $8 a day, up to $500,000 in supplementary debt. That gap could be filled with a fraction of the over-the-counter price. The bottom line: before your next trip, call the number on the back of your credit card and ask questions. Does the card provide major accident insurance? Write down the answers. If the answer is yes, then you just locked in $20 to $40 a day for travel. Warning 5. The age of AI scanners. Pay close attention to this. Because it is new, it is rewriting the rules in real time. Working with an Israeli AI imaging company called Avai, Hertz installed equipment described on hard drives as AI X-ray tunnels at major airport return sites. You drive back, get out. The system captures every inch of the vehicle in seconds: wheels, panels, bottoms, bumpers. The machine learning model is then used to compare the image to the appearance of the car on the pickup. In theory, that sounds reasonable. In fact, the technology captures what human inspectors can never capture: hairline scratches, a quarter-inch clank. Tire wear requires a magnifying glass. The moment the algorithm marks something, bills are automatically generated. Sign in to your app. Sometimes you get shot before you even clear the parking lot. The New York Times reported on the story in July 2025. What the United States accepts today is that the New York Post then reported in October on a case involving a woman in New York who refused to pay $440 and made the dispute public. Across case after case, the same fee structure is repeating. Damages 250 yuan, 125 for processing. Management fee 65 yuan. Hertz's official position is that the scanners exist to ensure that customers are not charged for damage that did not occur during the lease. The company also said that there is no charge for ordinary wear and tear. The threshold is applicable. Dents smaller than 1 inch should not be cost effective. The problem is, one client after another reported being sued for damages. The options for human attractiveness are limited. Hard drives reported that when a customer tried to contact a real Hertz employee about his fees, he was guided back into the app. That prompted him to pay discounts quickly. By the end of 2025, Hertz will target more than 100 US airport locations. Atlanta was the first. Sixt is deploying similar technology from UVI and its rival Proof Station. This is not a niche issue. AI scanners are America's future rent repayment. This is your defense. Listen carefully, because this is the most important 60 seconds in the video. When you pick up the car, before you drive out of the parking lot, making videos, a slow, thoughtful walk, capturing wheels, rims, bumpers, the roof, if you can. Open the door, shoot the interior, show odometer, show fuel gauge, and make sure the phone is set to embed location data and timestamps in metadata. Repeat the full video when you return. Parking, turnkey. Then, immediately walk around the camera again as it rotates. If no harm is alleged 2 days later, do you have a receipt? Real-time, time-stamped, GPS-tagged receipts. The video is worth $440, maybe more. Warning 6. Fake arrests you've never heard of. This time, it was really messy. So I warn you in advance. In December 2022, Hertz announced a settlement of about $1.688 billion. CNN and USA Today reported that resolved 364 lawsuits filed by customers who accused Hertz of submitting false reports of stolen vehicles to it, working with the police after they returned the car, sometimes after full payment. Sit down. We're not talking about bill disputes. Customers in those lawsuits returned a rental car. Home, back in my life. Then stop at the transit station or knock at the door at 6 a.m. He was handcuffed. One of the most widely reported cases involved a man in Mississippi who was reportedly imprisoned for more than 6 months for car theft documented by Hertz, even though he has refunded it. The company's internal system can't keep up. 36.4 litigation. And these are just people who bend and settle down. The number of customers actually affected may be higher. Hertz has publicly promised to fix its systems, For the company, the settlement has been paid. But for you and me, this lesson is more important than Hertz. When the rent is refunded, treat such returns as documented financial transactions. Obtain printed return receipts. Photograph the odometer and fuel gauge before leaving. Save the final email invoice. If anything goes wrong, missed return time, wrong place, incomplete contract, call the company that day, not next week. The computer system you're dealing with, in rare cases, imprison the innocent. Warning 7. Late claims. This mysteriously damaged receipt is probably the most consistent complaint I've ever received. Everywhere. BBB files, Reddit forum, Facebook, Travelers Group, and CoverTrip, a consumer protection site. The pattern repeats almost every time. Rent and returns. Agents circled the car. Everything is going well. Then you fly home and back to your life. 2 weeks later, sometimes 4 weeks later, sometimes 8. Then your inbox lights up with a $400 receipt. 800美元, 1200美元. The reason is that you don't remember the damage, and no one mentioned it in the reply. The invoices are murky. The photo looks blurry. Contact emails are sent to claims processors you can never reach by phone, and daily arrears. Threat, escalation, collection, credit damage, lawyer. CoverTrip's first advice on this is something every viewer should remember. When you receive a suspicious claim for damages, the first step is not to argue. The first step is to call your credit card company and lock the card you use to rent a car. This will prevent any future automatic charging. After that, you have to refute that claim. Photos, receipts. Physical stores require in writing to maintain invoices and store valuations, item by item, not an internal estimating tool for leasing companies. Better Business Bureau documents these complaints against several major rental brands a few years ago. This is not unusual. In some companies, accounting departments, suspicious damage claims are a source of income. Warning 8. Young drivers were fined. Anyone under the age of 25 will face a special tax that the leasing industry regards as aimed at them. The young driver was formally called to ask for a surcharge. Depending on company, location, and your exact age, fees range from $20 to $40 a day, every day. NerdWallet documents budget locations in Michigan, where drivers ages 18 to 20 charge as much as $41 a day. Drivers ages 21 to 24 pay $28 a day. Rent for a week. For 23-year-olds, that is $200 to $300. Sixt said publicly on its website that renters under the age of 25 generally do not enjoy fee relief. Avis, Hertz, and the Dollar all have similar policies. Prices vary by state, depending on whether the location is a business or a franchise. There are workarounds. Some corporate employers waive business travel under the age of 25 by negotiating discount codes, Costco Travel and AAA in many ways. Partner quotes and surcharge waivers. It is worth checking. USAA members of certain age groups can waive fees through Hertz and other partners. In some states, including New York and Michigan, state laws effectively limit the fees rental companies charge underage drivers. As a result, flying into one of the states forced the cost structure to default. If you are under 25 and Don, know it exists until you click on it. You just got a meaningful piece of financial information. Use it. Warning 9. Tolls keep rising. Fees are probably the most secretive of all. Most major American airports are now connected to a highway system that runs all electronic tolls. No cash kiosks, transponders and license plate cameras. Only, it doesn't matter if you live there. For renters, leasing companies set up their own charging services. Hertz uses something called PlataPass. Avis runs its own electronic charging program. These services have led to what I can only describe as aggressive convenience payments. Avis publicly publishes its policies, even if the electronic charging service is triggered during the lease period. In addition, the company charges you $6.95 a day for convenience. It is not just your days on the turnpike. So if you cross the toll bridge on the second day of a 7-day trip, the nearly $50 convenience fee is superimposed on the actual toll. Hertz's Plat Pass fee usually appears on your credit card 1 to 3 weeks after the end of the rental, listed as Hertz tolls, followed by your lease number. This means that many customers will not even connect them back to the trip when they find a charge. Smart games depend entirely on where you drive. If you're on a toll road, a lot, places like Florida, the Northeast, or Illinois, the daily unlimited fee package actually pays off. If you might use tolls, plan your route around it. Because Google Maps allows you to close toll roads, an additional 15 minutes saves $50. Warning 10. Peer-to-peer gambling. Many people may have heard of Turo, a platform where ordinary people rent private cars to travelers, usually cheaper than Hertz. Sometimes better cars. Occasionally there is a better overall experience. I'm not here to tell you Turo is bad, because many people have good experiences. When you do peer-to-peer trading, you really need to know what you're trading. Outlook conducted a long-term survey of what the publication described in early 2026. In my own words, Mr. Turo's crime is rampant. The report records show that compared with traditional rental companies, peer-to-peer platform operation has significantly less supervision of listed vehicles and tenants. Stolen vehicles, fraudulent listings, cancel last minute and stranded hosts, and months of insurance wrangling over who pays. Host policy, Turo's conservation plan, tenant credit cards, personal car insurance for lessors. Really not sure. All of this is documented. The NerdWallet report puts practical issues first. If your car breaks down at 11 p.m. on Saturday, there is number 24.7 counter to walk up. Vehicle conditions vary by engine. A widely shared Reddit post documented the death of a landlord within 14 days of renting a car in Hawaii. Because the so-called fleet is only one person's car, it was not replaced immediately. Turo can shine in specific use cases. Maybe you want a Tesla. Maybe you want a convertible. Maybe you're in a city and want to experience a car. Pick up the car at the airport, drive to the ground. Highway travel, leasing with reliability as the core. Traditional companies, while they have all kinds of paid games, operate the backup vehicle. 24-hour roadside assistance. Turo's customer service infrastructure is simply unmatched on the same scale. Just open your eyes and go in. That is all I ask. Closing. The big picture. Let's connect. Because I don't want you to leave this video just angry at the rental company. I want you to leave with a system. That is what I did every time I rent a car, and what I recommend to everyone who watches the movie. Before booking, call your credit card to confirm your master lease. Then decide immediately whether you want to use a credit card or buy supplements from a third party, like Bonza for $8 a day. Don't walk up to the counter and hesitate, because that is where they won. When you book, compare airport and off-airport prices, and use search engines that show total prices and costs, not just base rates. If you are under 25, via Costco, Travel Tribble, AAA user, your employer, your alumni association, anyone who might negotiate the elimination of fees for children under 25. When you answer the phone, recording videos, a full, slow walk, inside, outside, and wheels. Odometer, metadata prints date and location. Don't drive out of the parking lot until the video is on your phone. At the counter, reject everything. CDW, LDW, prepaid, fuel, GPS. Upgrade. Free packages, unless you've already made them. The magic sentence is, my credit card pays. When you come back, fill the tank yourself. Keep receipts. Take pictures in front of the pump. Run the roaming video again. Obtain printed return receipts. Confirm that the contract has been closed. Don't just put down your keys and rush to the door. After returning home, watch your credit card bill for 3 weeks. If something looks wrong, rebut it immediately. If a claim suddenly arises, lock the card before doing anything else. That is the whole strategy. 5 minutes of preparation, 2 minutes of transit, and return video. The confidence on the counter, denied, done. I'll tell you the truth. The American rental industry generates $6.2 billion a year, and Avis and Hertz, the big three, controls about 70% of the market. None of these companies are designed for your benefit. They are designed for shareholders. These fees are not institutional loopholes. Fees are the system. AI scanners are not meant to protect you from unfair charges. There they looked for the damage that the human eye missed. That doesn't mean you should stop renting. That is, if you do, you did it on your terms, not theirs. If video saves you $1,400, do me a favor. Click the like button. If you haven't signed up, sign up. Then comment on your worst car rental horror story. Because I get it. The craziest may appear in the next video. Safe driving, smart consumption. See you next time.